Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
יעקב משכנותיך ישראל מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה לך על קודשך ביראתך אשתחווה לך על קודשך ביראתך מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל.
Bruchim habayim, welcome to all of you who are joined in our lovely sanctuary of Temple Solel here in Hollywood, Florida, and those of you who are joining us from the sanctuary of your homes. We're here for a very special occasion, for the bar mitzvah of Maytar Gold, who has worked assiduously, put lots of time and preparation into this moment. Let me just provide a few words of guidance and instruction as we embark on our service. First of all, for all those who feel so needed throughout the service, The restrooms are right through the lobby. If you need any help being guided to them, we have a security guard who will help to make some assistance. Also, as we make our way in our worship service, I think for most of us, as I see the assembled crowd, you'll feel natural, but a Hebrew prayer book goes in the opposite direction as what you would be accustomed to in an English book. So because Hebrew goes and reads from the other direction, from the opposite direction, so just be aware. And there are page numbers at the bottom of the page to assist you with this. Also, all of the Hebrew prayers in the prayer book are not only accompanied by literal translations, but also as well as reflective and exegetical, creative translations, as well as the Hebrew is accompanied by transliteration on any of the pages. So even if Hebrew is, for some of us, a foreign language, you can still follow along. We invite, although Maytar will be leading us magnificently, I have every confidence in worship and accompanied by our beloved Cantor, Rosen. I know that those of us here who will hopefully open our hearts and our souls will also be welcome to join in the tefillah, to join in the prayer. So please make use of the transliteration or the Hebrew, as the service is intended to be a participatory one where we all join together. Also, at various points in the service, Maytar may elect to guide us to turn a page. If he fails to do that for whatever reason, it's not because he's making a mistake. It just means if no page number is announced, it means just turn the page to the next page, the succeeding page. Otherwise, he will give us instructions as whether to stand or sit or where to find ourselves in our worship service. And so now we will begin. And at the beginning of every bar mitzvah, we have a sacred opportunity, a sacred act that we take upon ourselves, signifying now our responsibility, our roles and obligations of being a young Jewish adult. So it is much to take upon oneself, this type of responsibility, as we wear our talit. Our talit, first and foremost, is a signifier of the fact that you have attained a sufficient level of knowledge and comprehension to be able to lead us in a worship service, to know not only how to read Hebrew, but also know a little bit about the prayers and what they mean, and not only what they say, but also what they mean in our hearts and where they come from and their virtues and their values that they represent. And so when you utter the words in the worship service, as you put on the talit, you are saying to yourself, as all of us do here, that you are going to lead your life as a Jew and as a human being, not only in the expression of the prayers, not only to be able to lead us in worship service, but also as you wear the talit, to recognize that these are values that will carry you and lead you and that you share with other Jews in this world. And as you do so, I'd like to invite up your parents who will join you in this ceremony to help you and assist you as they always have been. It's my pleasure to call forward Ronit and Dan, as well as his aunts, Sylvie Avital and Sarah Gold, who will in a moment open our ark. Your aunts, there you go. And in a minute, the other aspect that I want you to consider as you're putting on the talit, yes, with the fringes of the talit, it's a reflection of the virtues and the values of Judaism and the ethics and responsibilities. But it's not just that. A talit, I feel, is a Jewish blanket. I feel that it wraps us and provides us comfort and protection, the same way you would in that blanket that you have from when you go to sleep every night, when you wake up every morning. And it goes wherever you go. And so I hope that Judaism, the family of Solel, the Jewish people, the land of Israel and her people, all of these provide you a sense of sanctuary, a sense of peace, a sense of well-being, a sense of safety and protection. And so too will you provide in a reciprocal fashion that same sense of protection and safety to others in need of such support. And so as your aunts open the ark for us, I ask all of us present to please rise. this way. And then you put the toe that way. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu leitatef v'tzitzit.
מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל.
I invite you to please be seated. Maytar will now lead us in the worship service, beginning with a prayer that we call Nasim B'Kol Yom, miracles of the day, as we remember that each and every time, from the minute we open our eyes to when we put on our clothing to when we embark in every aspect of our lives, that we have an opportunity in every moment in our lives to be able to see God's presence and see the power of love and compassion and righteousness and good deeds with every breath we take. Nasim B'Kol Yom, the miracles of living in this world, of being created by God and being guided by a divine force in our world. As we turn to page 80.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor. Please turn to the accompanying page. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands no abdication of my mind. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes. I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps. I am a Jew because the word of Israel is the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because for Israel, the world is not completed, we are completing it. I am a Jew because Israel's promise is the universal promise. I am a Jew because for Israel, humanity is not created, we are creating it. I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and its unity above the nations and above Israel itself. I am a Jew because above image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity which is divine. Please turn to page 108. Please rise for the call to worship. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch hamevorach leolam va'ed. Praise Adonai to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai to whom praise is due now and forever. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ortzer or uverei choshech, oseh shalom uverei et hakol. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions of all things. In mercy you illume the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai! In wisdom you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer amorot. Please turn to page 113. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard, Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us toward our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchoto Leolam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha beko levavecha uveko nafshecha uveko meodecha. V'hayu adebarim ha'ele asher anochi metavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha v'veitecha uvlechtecha baderech uv'shokvecha uv'komecha ukshartam leot al yodecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Lema'an tiskru ve'asitem et kol mezotah ve'hayitem kodeshim leolechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hozeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem leolehim ani Adonai Elohechem. Please turn to page 119. Life without integrity is like loosely hanging threads, easily fraying from the main cloth. While in acts of piety, we learn to understand that every instant is like a thread, raveling out of eternity to form a delicate tassel. We must not cast off the threads, but weave them into the design of an eternal fabric. Each day points to eternity. The fate of all time depends upon a single moment.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה. ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים בם בה ים בם בה, ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים בם בה ים בם בה, ים בם 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 בם. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם 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 ועד. ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים ביר בם 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 בם, ים בם בה ים בם בה, ים בם 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 בם, ים בם בה ים בם בה, ים בם 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 בם.
Please turn to page 122. Oh, please turn to page 124. Please rise for the Amida. Adonai sepatav tiftach ufi yagiled jitatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Koneh Hakol ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'imaot. Umvie Gaela Livnei Bneem Lema'an Shmo Bahava Melech Otzer Umashia Amagen. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, awesome, and transcendent God who bestows loving kindness and creates everything out of love, and remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, and Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Please be seated. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata Rav leoshia, Mashiv haruach umarid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim Rabbi, Somech noflim berofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Bishene afar, Mi chamocha ba'al geburot, Umido melach, melech memid, Umechayev, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata le'achayot hakol. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You cause the wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you? You, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol.
As you have been leading us in the Amidah, the prayer of our ancestors, which actually is one of the oldest prayers from our entire tradition. We think of our prayers, as we were discussing a few times, we think of our prayers as though they've always been there. They're so old, right? They get passed on generation to generation. But in reality, they emerged out of somewhere. They became somewhere, because we used to have a temple, and that's why we call this a temple, where we practiced, the priests were there, and we had animal sacrifice, and then when the temple was destroyed, we replaced animal sacrifice with prayer. And so as we recite those names of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rachel, Rebekah, Leah, as we offer their names, we recognize that the prayers that we have, the heritage that we are taking upon ourselves, but also is one that we have received from that ancient days of our biblical forefathers and foremothers, but that chain of connection which has maintained the Jewish people, that has enabled you to be here at this moment, has allowed me to be here at this moment, has allowed all of us to be present at this moment. That chain of connection is only as strong as each generation carries those prayers forward, that insists and demands that Judaism survives and is sustained and thrives. You yourself know this as your deep devotion to your grandfather, Harry, who is with us here in spirit. He was a part of that heritage of maintaining that tradition, along with the rest of your family who's here. I actually share that with you. My grandfather was also named Harry, and he also made sure that that was part of why I was here, and that he received it from his grandparents. And so passing that on is a very important part of what it means to recite the Amidah. You're about to now, as part of the Amidah, you'll be able to offer in a moment that section of the Amidah which is so important. It's the Kiddush, the Kedusha. It's so important as the Kedusha, as that portion, that we use it at other times. We say the words also when someone dies, right? We say the word of Kadesh, and we also say the Mordish Kaddish, and we also say it when we give our prayer over wine every Friday night, the Kiddush, the Kaddish, and the Kedusha, because they all come from that same root, that same essence of Kadesh, to be holy. And what does it mean to be holy? What does it mean to be Kadesh? And why do we use this so frequently as part of ourselves? Holiness in Judaism, the elevation of holiness, really derives from two important places. One is this understanding of separation, that we are elevated, we elevate ourselves through separation. And what does that mean? We know as a Jewish people that we are separate and apart. We share something with all the other faiths of the world, with the rest of humanity, yet we choose to be separate. As well as we find ourselves in a sanctuary such as this, a separate place. And we find ourselves on Shabbat at a separate time. Being in a separate place among special people in a special time is what makes us elevate and come closer to God, to come closer to one another, to come closer to Harry, to come closer to your ancestors, to come closer to all those that come before us. And it helps us, by in that separation, not to be better than, not to be separate because we see ourselves as somehow anointed, but to be separate because we take it upon ourselves that depth of sustaining the Jewish people, of having God, of having Torah in our lives. And now as we approach the prayer of the Kedusha on your bar mitzvah, my prayer for you is that whether it's in the land of Israel, whether hopefully it's many times in the sanctuary of Solel, in the family of Solel, whether it's with these people, your separate and special family and friends, whether it's the family of Solel, whether it's with me, that you choose in your life wherever you go, on Jewish occasions, on Jewish holidays, with Jewish people in Jewish places, that you elect, that you make the decisions in your life how to sustain the Amidah, how to sustain Judaism, and to keep alive that flame of Judaism for another generation, so that your children and grandchildren, the ones that go on from there, will continue to recite these prayers and continue to keep Judaism strong, not just for ourselves, but for the world. And so it's my pleasure to call forward for our prayer of Kedusha, Helen Wohl and Eve Posner, your cousins, who will join us in the opening of our ark as I ask the congregation who are assembled to please rise.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאיך וקרא זה לזה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
Let us sanctify your name on earth as it is sanctified in the heavens above. As it is written by your prophet, Holy, holy, holy is Adonai Titzavot. God's presence fills the whole earth. Source of our strength, sovereign one, how majestic is your presence in all the earth. Blessed is the presence of God, shining forth from where God dwells. God alone is our God and our Creator, our ruler and our helper. And in mercy, God is revealed in the sight of all the living. I am Adonai your God. Adonai shall reign forever. Your God, O Zion, from generation to generation. Hallelujah. To all generations we declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושפחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. כי אל מלך גדול גדול וקדוש 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 אתה. לי 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 וקדוש וקדוש אתה.
Please turn to page 134. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us a share in your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel who sanctifies your name rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat.
רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ותפילתם באהבה תקבל ותשמע תהי לרצון, תמיד עבודת ישראל. ישראל עמך, ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון.
Our God and God of our... Please turn to page 137. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness, and let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levarcha be'yira na'avod. Please turn to the next page. Modim anachnu lach shata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Shur chayenu magen she'enu atah hu ledor vador. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and its seasons, modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, modim anachnu lach. For all those who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and to grow, to affirm and to choose. Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh la'adot.
שים שלום,
טובה וברכה,
חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברכנו יוצרנו כולנו כאחד באור פניך, כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו. שים שלום.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שים שלום. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה אדוני המבורך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Let us take a few moments of silent prayer and private reflection, guiding language that may be found throughout our prayer books, or whichever prayers may spring from our hearts.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We now make our way to Seder Kriyat Torah, which can be found in our prayer books on page 244 and page 245. As we do so, we pause in a moment to reflect on the meaning of Torah in your life, Maytar, and in all of our lives. I had such a pleasure studying Torah with you and sharing with you not just the particulars of your Parsha, but also looking at the whole of Torah and sort of are talking through the progression of Torah, Genesis, all the way through Deuteronomy. One of the aspects that we talked about, I'll remind you at this moment, is that Torah means many things. Torah is, of course, a set of instructions. It gives us a guidepost of the how of Judaism. What are we supposed to do? How do we behave as Jews? So it provides a foundation of teachings such as to come together at certain special holidays, to do certain activities. In fact, your Parsha this week, which we'll hear more about later, actually gives us some instructions literally about how we assemble as a Jewish people, where we assemble, and what are some of the things we do as a Jewish people to keep that sacredness, that Kadesh alive. The how of Judaism is found in the Torah. The Torah also, though, asks the biggest of questions and provides us a framework or a mechanism by which to understand perhaps ourselves and the world around us. Because as human beings, we are somewhat unique that we have an understanding of our presence in the world separate from the creatures, and so are naturally going to ask questions about the limited nature of our existence in this world, and also our responsibilities and obligations intellectually, our souls and our hearts to one another, and how we are supposed to behave as co-creators to God and co-builders of this world, and sharing that awesome responsibility for ourselves, for the creatures of the world, and for the planet. So the how, the why, and perhaps more than any of that, though, as well, is the Torah is a story. It begins with the story of creation, it goes on to the story of humanity, and then it goes from there to the story of the Jewish people, right? That's the progression of Torah. And your family is part of that story as well. And the Torah does not just end with the 5 books, right? You spent a lot of time with me studying the 5 books, but we also reflected on some commentaries, right? That provide us sort of wisdom about that. And that understanding of Torah and keeping Torah alive doesn't end with the 5 books. It continues on. It's a story that continues on to this day. People continue to study and read and take the Torah as part of them. And so as you offer your words of Torah, as you read from the Torah, know that your story becomes part of the Torah, because your words are heard by all of us and shared with all of us. And so just as your family is written into the story of Torah, so too will your life and all of our lives. And so as you're assuming on this special day of your bar mitzvah, my prayer for you is that you live that story fully and completely, that you always keep Torah and its lessons and its virtues close and near to you, and that you continue that tradition of being proud, as you already have demonstrated up to this point, but I know you'll continue to do, to write and author your own life with every breath you take and with every day that you make and with every certain opportunity that you have to make fully your story, your family's story, and the story of the Jewish people fully a part of your life. And so, as they have come before you and helped you to reach this moment, none of us gets into this world alone. We all are make our way into this world supported on the shoulders of those who came before us. And so it's my distinct pleasure as we embark on our Torah service to invite forward your grandparents, Michael and Carolyn Gold, as well as Rena Mandel, and we know with you as well are your grandfather Harry, as well as your parents Ronit and Dan, as we will in a certain moment in our service, not only open our ark, but also have the ceremony of passing the Torah from generation to generation, la dor vador, just as it has been passed on from their parents and their grandparents, so too it will be passed on to you from your grandparents and your parents, and hopefully to your children and your grandchildren. Just a symbol over there.
הנה כמוך באלוהים אדוני, והנה כמעשיך מלאכתך.
We rise on page 245. Assemble the people, the men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of Torah, and let their children who do not know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. For happy is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. For Torah's value is greater than silver, Torah's yield more than fine gold. Torah is more precious than rubies. No earthly treasure can match it.
מלכותך, מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני מלוך, לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום.
For from out of Zion will come the Torah and the word of Adonai from Jerusalem.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
And this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kedosh Shema. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Adonai הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. ככל בשמיים ובארץ, ככל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל רוד. וטהר ליבנו לעובדך, לעובדך באמת. 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 וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת. וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת. לה 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 וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת. You want to take the top? Just take the top of the top? Just take the top. Okay, good. Okay, good. Don't worry, I'm going to fix it. ארננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. Okay, good. Okay, you're going to stand right. You're going to stand right here. You're going to wait. This is your playbook.
It is now our pleasure to call forward Michael and Carolyn Gold for our first Aliyah.
ברכו את אדוני. Come closer, ברכו את אדוני. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai hamavarach, Baruch atah Adonai hamavarach, ba'olam avared, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
אמן. ואתה תצווה את בני ישראל, ויקחו אליך שמן זית זך כתית למאור, להעלות נר תמיד באוהל מועד, מחוץ לפרוכת אשר על העדות, יערוך אותו אהרון ובניו, מערב עד בוקר לפני אדוני, חוקת עולם לדורותם, מאת בני ישראל. Second blessing. ברוך אתה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם, ותברכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. For our second aliyah, we call forward Renee Mendel and Sylvie Avital.
ברוך אתה אדוני מבורך.
ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד.
אז עד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהים מלך העולם אשר ברכנו על תורתו. אדוני נתן תורתו.
אמן. ואתה קרב אליך את אהרון אחיך ואת בניו איתו, מתוך בני ישראל הכנו לי אהרון נדב אביהו, אלעזר ואיתמר בני אהרון, ועשית בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך לכבוד ולתפארת. Second blessing, ברוך אתה.
ברוך אתה עולם אשר נתן תורתו. בחיי העולם נתן אדוני אלוהים.
Amen. For our next aliyah, we call forward Sarah Gold. Sarah.
This one? פה במיקרופון. אוקיי, ברכו. בסדר. ברכו את אדוני.
This one?
כן, בסדר. ברכו את אדוני.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני, אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
אמן. ואלה הבגדים אשר יעשו חושן ואפוד ומעיל וכתונת תשבץ מצנפת ואבנת, ועשו בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך ולבניו לכנו לי, והם ייקחו את הזהב ואת התכלת ואת הארגמן ואת עולת השני ואת השש. The second blessing. Okay. You can use this one. Okay. ברוך אתה אדוני.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. And for our next aliyah, we have the pleasure of calling forward your parents, Dan and Ronit, for the blessing over Torah on your bar mitzvah.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Hanayim Barach Olam Va'ed.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. ועשו את האפוד זהב, את תכלת וארגמן, את תולת שני, ושש מושזר מעשה חושב, שתי כתפות חוברות יהיה לו, אל שתי קצותיו וחובר, וחשב עפודתו אשר עליו, כמעשהו ממנו יהיה זהב, תכלת וארגמן, ותולעת שני, ושש מושזר.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
You're going to stay here. Okay, you're going to stay here. Okay, and now you're going to take this one. open page 50, page 250. Just a minute. We're going to do the Baruch Hu first. Baruch Hu et Adonai.
Baruch Hu et Adonai mevorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Just a minute.
ובהעלות אהרון את הנרות בין ארבעים יקדירנה קטורת תמיד לפני אדוני לדורותיכם לא תעלו עליו קטורת זרה ועלה ומנחה ונסך לא תזכו עליו יכפר אהרון על קרנותיו אחת בשנה מדם חטאת יכפרים אחת בשנה יכפר עליו לדורותיכם קודש קודשים הוא לאדוני. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Let us rise as we honor the Torah.
Watch this one. Watch this one. Okay. Wait. Okay. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. Okay. Soon. If you don't do nothing now. Okay. After. תפתחו את הארון. אוקיי.
Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
Please be seated as we have the opportunity to now hear from a reading from our prophetic tradition, from our bar mitzvah.
This one. Okay, louder, clean.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza b'dvrechem הנאמרים האמת, ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בתורה ובמשה עבדו ובישראל עמו ובנביאי האמת והצדק. And if they are ashamed of all they have done, make known to them the design of the temple, its arrangement, its exits, and its entrances, its whole design and all its regulations and laws. Write these down before them so that they may be faithful to its design and follow all its regulations. This is the law of the temple. All the surrounding area on top of the mountain will be most holy. Such is the law of the temple. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bekol hadorot, hel hane'eman ha'emet vas oseh, המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על תורה ועל עבודה ועל ענבים ועל יום השבת הזה, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת, על הכל אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך, בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. And now we'll hear some words of Torah from our bar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion, Tezaveh, is found in the book of Shemot, Exodus. It speaks about the various aspects of the tabernacle. The tabernacle is the design from which is later constructed the temple in Jerusalem. For now, the Jews are wandering in the desert between Egypt and Israel, so they have a tabernacle. The portion also discusses the priests, who were the religious leaders before we had rabbis. The ceremony for how the priests become priests and all discusses the priest's clothing. The section that I read discusses the incense of the altar in the tabernacle. There are 3 elements in the center of the tabernacle. 1 is the table, 2 is a lampstand, and the other is the incense holder. The table and lampstand mentioned early in the Torah, and the incense holder is mentioned here separately. Why is it mentioned separately? Is it mentioned separately because it is less important or because it is more important? One commentator that I found interesting said that it is less important because unlike a lampstand or a table, a home does not have an incense holder. I thought this was interesting because it reminded me that where Jews gather, we can have a temple. It's nice to have a beautiful sanctuary like this one, but every temple or synagogue begins with one word, bait, which means house. We don't use incense in our temples today, but smells are a big part of Judaism and also who we are. For me, one smell that I connect to is challah. I always remember making challah with my family. I like how it makes me feel nostalgic, and I have many good memories making challah with my family at home. Just like I connect to the smell of challah to home, I have a very distinct smell of my grandparents' home in Israel. That smell always gives me comfort, and every time I go to Israel, being with my grandparents in their home is one of the main things I look forward to when I go. I think that's why the smell is powerful, just like it is with challah. They both remind me of home. Just like I love the smell of fresh air, I love how Judaism helps me connect to nature and the world around me. When I pray in Judaism, I love how it asks me to consider everywhere, the whole world. Just like I love the smell of my grandparents' home and how my Saba Harry will always be with me, I recognize having a bar mitzvah means honoring my family, where I come from, and the responsibilities of passing on the beliefs and practices of Judaism from generation to generation. You don't just smell challah or think about challah. You make challah and you eat challah. I realize that Judaism is more than just ideas or thoughts. Judaism is a religion of doing. Judaism involves taking action and doing mitzvahs, whether that means practicing Shabbat or giving tzedakah or maybe bringing food to the hungry. Being Jewish means bringing Judaism to life by what I say and what I do. It's not enough to say I am a Jew. I have to behave like a Jew. I am proud of being Jewish, and I am proud of having reached this milestone in my life as a Jew. I would like to thank the Rabbi for helping me practice my speech and how to lead a service. I would like to thank the Cantor for helping me learn the prayers and always being so helpful. Thank you to Gaia for always being supportive of whatever I try to accomplish. I would like to thank my grandparents for the support and motivation in my life. I would like to thank my dad for bringing the importance of Judaism into my life, my mom for helping me practice and always being there for me. I appreciate everyone coming out today to be here for this special occasion where I take upon myself the responsibilities of being Jewish. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So you can stand up there, Olivia, if you want to. It's okay. So you can tell by the applause you've done a pretty good job this morning. Not you hope, that's your humbling, but you did, humble of you to say that, but you did a really good job. I'm proud of you. I know we're all proud of you. You put a lot of effort and work into it. We received you only a year ago, and I have to say, you have really come a long way in that year, not only in how you led us, but in what you've learned about Judaism and its essence and how you reflected on it. You've demonstrated a great deal of maturity over this past year. I just want to offer a couple words of Torah that hopefully are somewhat meaningful to you in this moment. In addition to just being a Shabbat, in addition to being your Bar Mitzvah Shabbat, it's also a Shabbat of a special holiday, Purim. And we remember Purim well because I don't think I could say this to any other Bar Mitzvah, but I think we actually met at Purim a year ago. In fact, you first met the exact day, and you first met your rabbi flying around in Spider-Man. So it was an interesting way of getting to know each other. There are many superheroes in Judaism. Some of them are sitting literally right before you who helped get you to this point, who have struggled and suffered and sacrificed and really taken upon a heroic effort to make sure that you reach this moment. But the book of Esther is especially important, I think, to your life because, as you noticed in the reading of your Torah, we were calling up not just men, but also women. And in this sanctuary in Reformed Judaism, and I know it's very much an ethic that's very powerful and deliberate and intentional about your family, is making sure that Judaism is inclusive of all people. Men and women are equal, people from all ethnicities, people from all religious backgrounds, that we share that sense of equality. And Esther, it's one of the few books of the Hebrew Bible, but it comes from antiquity, from so long ago. And who's the hero of the story? Is it a man? No, it's a woman, Esther. So it's important for all of us to see wherever we come from that we can be the heroes in our own story of the Jewish people. And so wherever you are in life, I hope you take the same type of courage and inspiration and strength to know that you are able to lift up your voice in whatever setting you find yourself, that you can be the hero of Judaism in that moment, and that also to help to, just like you did for your Bar Mitzvah, you did a special thing. I'm not sure how many of your family members would have necessarily been able to say a bracha over the Torah if not for your Bar Mitzvah. So you already have taken that step to help others to be included in the full and equal value of Judaism, and I hope you'll continue to pronounce and to elevate that value, which has been an inherited part of your being in this family, your family, and continuing on that in your life. Another aspect, you mentioned it briefly in the Parsha, but it was this aspect of the fact that you were talking about the end of the Parsha, and I thought that was an interesting thing for us to focus upon, that aspect of incense, because otherwise you don't really get an opportunity to look at it. But what is ever present in our lives is what's on the other end, the beginning, the bookend, the beginning of the Parsha, which is the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. And we see that all the time. We don't always see an incense holder, but we do see the Ner Tamid. And the Parsha begins with the words, Ve'ata tetzaveh, you shall be commanded. It puts particular emphasis on that word of you, meaning each and every one of us is responsible for keeping that flame alive. Each and every one of us is responsible for lighting the flame. Just like this sanctuary in Temple Solel, you're new here, I'm still relatively new here. There was so much here that we received that was built before ever we got here. But keeping Judaism alive, whether it's the state of Israel, whether it's the Jewish people, whether it's a sanctuary, whether it's a country, whatever it is, that you receive already that which is there, but you, Atah, each and every one of us, all of us, have to keep that flame alive. All of us have to contribute to make sure that whatever we've received is as strong moving forward as it is in terms of what we've gotten into this moment, what we inherited. And so with that flame of Judaism, it's an ever-present reminder to us of the Ner Tamid that each and every one of us has special gifts. And you have wonderful gifts. You're incredibly humble, you're thoughtful, you're discerning, you're reflective, and you have a certain way about yourself that you just carry yourself in a way that invites other people into your life. And I also know there's something very special about you too, is that you always have a certain lightheartedness about yourself, that you can always see in the moment a certain opportunity of joy or celebration or laughter. And that also is a way of just making a room feel more bright, more alive with your smile and your presence. All of those gifts are going to be necessary and vital to helping to keep that flame alive, and I know that you will into your future. There's one last aspect of that Ner Tamid that I also wanted to reflect upon for you, which is also very special. You and I, we have a special relationship in a way, because there's a very good chance that I met your parents before you even did. It could very well have happened, because your dad was raised in the same neck of the woods of Maryland in high school as I was. Those are the same, literally the same paths, the same experiences that he had there. We can relate to that. And I couldn't believe it, but you've heard this so many times. Your mother and I were literally at the same Maccabi games, at the same pool, at the same moment. So I actually may have met each one of them. Not only did I meet them perhaps before you met them, but I may have met them before even they met each other. And so what I want you to take from that, though, is something incredibly meaningful and vital. And I know it's so much a part of who you are, and it's so important to me. I know that when you have this unique life experience, you and your sister share, that you grew up in two worlds. You grew up in the world of Israel with that Jewish consciousness of Israel, and you also grew up in the Jewish consciousness of America, and you straddle that fence. Your life exists in both of those worlds, and it's not always so easy having one parent that's Israeli or born Israeli and one that's American. I get it. It's like two different cultures coming together, but that's your life. It's just like natural to you. And so the life of your parents is in you. And the flame of Judaism, evermore in the world that we are living in, is going to require somehow, just like you have miracles, Nisim B'Kol Yom, that you said that you wake up in the morning, it's going to take a miracle to make sure that the flame of Judaism that is lit between the Jewish people who are in the diaspora, who are in the Galut, and the Jews who are in Israel, to making sure that that stays strong in the world that we have it. And you are a perfect person to be able to help to strengthen that bridge, just because of how you were born, because your life experiences and what you have. It's something that's part of you. And so with the magnificent way that you have led us courageously and have gifts that I know will elevate that sense of inclusion and equality of Judaism in the world, being a hero in your own life, in the way that you will continue to be the atah, the you, that makes sure that flame stays alive, and make sure also that the flame of Judaism is felt not only here but also in the land of Israel. With all that and so much more, I am very, very proud of what you've accomplished today. I'm very hopeful for what you'll have in your life, and may you continue with all. Remember this moment. See all these people here? They're here for you. And they're here for you as a foundation for you to remember for the rest of your life, for every day you carry forward, to having Judaism close in your heart and always have a light of Judaism as your guiding light in your life. And so with that, it's my particular pleasure to offer you a blessing under the ark as I ask your family and the congregation to please rise. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God guard you always and be your shelter of peace. May God's light always radiate upon you and help you provide grace. And may God's countenance, may God's face be upon you and may you always find harmony and balance and peace, shalom, in your life.
Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
Please be seated as we invite your parents up for a special few words on your bar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today to be here with us to celebrate Maytar's bar mitzvah. So before I wrote this speech, I was thinking about all of the amazing things that had to transpire to bring us here today to celebrate Maytar's bar mitzvah. And I'm going to skip past the pogroms and all the dark stuff, and I'm going to start with at least your parents' or my parents' connection through distant family that brought them together, to my wife's parents' journey from communist Romania to the dreams of a better life in Israel, that afforded Ronit's dream to take a leap of faith and come to Los Angeles for her master's degree and go on a blind date with a crazy American guy. This simple journey that brought us here today to celebrate Maytar's becoming a bar mitzvah. Because sometimes we take these opportunities for granted, and this brings me to the part of the story where I get to tell you how overwhelmed with pride we are and with the journey that Maytar has taken over the last number of months to become a bar mitzvah, in overcoming all the adversity that he has faced in changing schools and beginning the year as he has persevered and found success. Maytar has always been an inquisitive person who wants to understand how the world around him works and how he can participate in it. His drive and passion to try something without fear of failing has always impressed me. That is why when it was time to begin this new journey to become a bar mitzvah, we wanted him to look back on this day with pride, and he has accomplished another milestone in his own journey to becoming Jewish and finding his place in this crazy world. All right, enough crying.
I thought I'm only crying.
I don't know where that came from.
Okay, my dearest Maytar, I cannot forget the amazing feeling when you were born. I remember soon after Maytar was born, looking at him and thinking, who is this Ukrainian blonde-haired baby that we adopted? Don't worry, Maytar, I was there at the hospital, and I'm fairly sure there was no mistakes. Your love and kindness has always made me proud, and your caring for others is a gift. You're smart, hardworking. You're smart, hardworking, dedicated.
I'll help you. You're a smart, hardworking, dedicated, and a passionate young man, and this is reflected in your love for basketball and always wanting to achieve more. We cannot wait to celebrate with you in the Maccabiyah this summer. This is for you. Maytar, we wish that Saba could be with us on this day, but please remember that he is always with you wherever you go in life, with the wonderful memories of love and affection he felt for you. And thank you to Doda Sylvie for arranging the second part of your bar mitzvah and whose support, along with Renee, your Safta, could not make this moment feel like you're still connected to home back in Israel, and all the family that couldn't join us today. To our cousin Eve that came from far away and abroad to participate, we thank you. To Helen, our cousin who has been part of our family's connection to Florida roots, much love. And we want to thank Auntie Sarah, whose great affection and caring has helped Maytar during complicated times with her thoughtful guidance. And to Maytar's grandparents, Michael and Carolyn, whose true devotion to our family has made our lives here in Florida feel like home. And last but not least, to Gaia, who has always shown up for her brother and with some last-minute coaching and encouragement for the bar mitzvah, will always be there to support him in life. We love you with all of our hearts and wish you happiness in your journey forward as you step through the threshold into this new life.
I ask the congregation to please rise for the adoration. Page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Okay. Get it all out.
Please be seated. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, but we never lift up our hand to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Maytar. It's my pleasure to call forward Bunny Blattner as a representative of our Board of Trustees, as well as a representative of our sisterhood, who will be welcoming to provide you some words on behalf of our congregation's leadership, as well as some gifts. Here, before she does so, I just wanted to make sure that you see this. This is offered on behalf of the clergy. It's your bar mitzvah certificate. You can frame it. You can put it in your bedroom. You have it forever. It shows that you had your bar mitzvah, that you had it on this date, the 11th of Adar, at Temple Solel in Hollywood, signed by myself and the Cantor.
I just want to tell you how happy I am. You will be participating in the Maccabi Games in August, and thrilled that your parents are going to be helping us with, and maybe you can get lots of kids involved. Please. On behalf of Temple Solel Board of Directors and the entire family of Solel, we want to wish you a heartfelt Mazel Tov on your big day. You've worked so hard over the past year with Cantor, Rosen, and Rabbi Plost. Your dedication and devotion has brought you to this big day. We know that you will continue with your Jewish education and make us all proud. The Board of Directors would like to present you with 2 gifts. The first one is the Elaine Jamie Lipson Friends of the March of the Living and Bat Mitzvah Scholarship Program. I went on that. It's fabulous. And through a generous endowment by the Lipson family, we present you with this certificate that can be redeemed after being accepted, and you will get some help if you would like to go on the march. The second one is the Alexander Muss High School in Israel, wishing you a hearty Mazel Tov on the occasion of your bar mitzvah. Should you choose to further your Jewish studies by attending the high school in Israel program, you will receive a tuition discount to support your efforts. And the Brotherhood and Sisterhood would like to present you with this wonderful gift bag. In this bag, you will find a $100 Amazon gift card to do with as you please, a stainless steel Kiddush cup, and a gourmet snack box. We are also proud of your accomplishments, Maytar, and we hope you enjoy this special day with your family and friends, and we look forward to watching you grow as a young Jewish man and give back to the world. Thank you. Okay. They'll take all this stuff, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do now. En Eloheinu. Page 322, En Eloheinu. En Eloheinu, En Adonenu, En Malkeinu, En Moshiheinu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Malkeinu, Mich Moshiheinu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshiheinu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshiheinu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshiheinu.
As Cantor is finding his way to making sure we have a Kiddush cup, which is a necessary component of Kiddush, there it is. We also want to take a moment as well to acknowledge all the kids who are present. We'd like to welcome everyone here who is 13 or younger to please come forward to the bima. Family, friends, all of us. Who will celebrate along with you the tradition of consecrating this moment of joy of the Kiddush and of Hamotzi. I ask us all to rise as we offer the Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן לחיים.
Chaim. Yeah, you have to drink it. And the Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon. You guys, when you take the challah, can go back to your seats. Not you. Go ahead. Hey, there you go. Small piece. How marvelous and wondrous is this day.
סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב, סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב יהיה לנו סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב יהיה לנו ולכל ישראל יהיה לנו ולכל ישראל לה 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 חי וקיים.
Mazel tov, Shabbat Shalom.